Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Hope you're all doing well. Today I've got an update for you on the whole Comcast debacle with net neutrality and data caps. And I covered this in a video about a week or two ago because they were instituting data caps in my home state of New Jersey, as well as 14 other states. And the data cap was going to be set at 1.2 terabytes, and then you would have to pay an additional $10 for every 50 gigabytes that you go over that. So obviously that's going to cost quite a bit of money, for a lot of people, especially during these difficult times, and a lot of people working from home, children doing virtual learning. My future stepson does his virtual learning from home, so the internet is crucial for him, and obviously for me with work as well. And outside of that, just for entertainment purposes, we do everything over streaming. We don't have cable or anything like that. So, and that's really who they're trying to target, is cord cutters, honestly, with these data caps. But thankfully, it looks like there's going to be a delay, which maybe in that period of time we can get net neutrality restored. So we're going to talk about all of that, as well as the Mass Effect Legendary Edition got the system requirements for the PC. So I'm going to go over the minimum and recommended requirements for you guys as well. Did you just finish building a sweet gaming rig only to have this happen to you? Not to worry, because your CD Key has you covered with Windows 10 Pro licenses for under $18. And if you head over there right now, you could save 20% off with my code JPD20 at checkout. You'll receive your key within seconds, and then just click the start button and type activate to find the Windows activation screen, and all you got to do then is paste your code in. For more info as well as that coupon code, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. So in regards to Comcast and this delay, as of right now, we know that it is going to be delayed until at least July. It was supposed to start at the beginning of 2021, and they were actually going to have a small grace period for January and February, so no one would actually be billed until March's billing period, I guess. So just to kind of give people time to be aware that this is going to be going on, although I don't think many people are aware of it unless you actually follow tech news and stuff like that. People like myself that would actually find this, because Comcast hasn't come out, as far as I know, and told us. They haven't sent us a letter or called us on the phone to say, hey, we're going to be charging you extra if you use too much data. Maybe you should get an unlimited plan or something, which is obviously what we would have to do, because it would end up being a lot cheaper than paying for the overages, which I would definitely do every single month. I would easily go over the 1.2 terabytes allotted by Comcast for people to be able to use in the more than a dozen states. And we actually have Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro to thank for this, who made put up a big fuss when these data caps were being rolled out by Comcast, as Pennsylvania was one of the affected states. And of course, he reached out to them. They negotiated, decided to delay it until July. And also, if you want to switch your service from Comcast to a provider in your area, if it's possible, that doesn't have data caps, then you will not have to pay any early termination fees if you happen to be locked into a contract with Comcast. So those are two huge things right there. Now, of course, it's only being delayed until July, but it could get extended. Really, the main reason that Shapiro was upset about this is for the reasons I mentioned at the start of the video. A lot of people are using internet right now for virtual learning, work, and all of that sort of stuff. So even though this was a Pennsylvania Attorney General, Josh Shapiro, this is going to affect all of all 15 states that were going to be affected by this new rollout. Other states have already had data caps for years from Comcast, but because of net neutrality laws being repealed, unfortunately, now they were able to basically implement that into any state that they wanted to, and that's what they were trying to do here. And if just in case you're curious, the states that were affected by this are Connecticut, Delaware, District of Columbia, so that's Washington, D.C., Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, which is my home state, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Vermont, and West Virginia. So over a dozen states were getting these data caps put in, and now they'll be delayed until July. And again, if you want to cancel your plan and switch over to another ISP, if that's possible for you, which for me it's not, I could only get DSL through Verizon, which is just not going to be fast enough, honestly. So I'm stuck with Comcast for the foreseeable future, as long as I live in this house and as long as Verizon doesn't have fiber optic going to my area. So I'm stuck with Comcast, so I won't be able to cancel my contract with them. I don't think we actually have a contract. We might, but I'm not too sure. But either way, there wouldn't be any fees now, so that's a good thing. So it does appear that these may be delayed, but eventually the data caps will likely come in, unless net neutrality comes back, which it very likely could, as Ajit Pai, the FCC chairman who was the leading force behind getting net neutrality repealed, has now stepped down with, on January 20th when Biden took office, as he was a Trump appointee, because of course he fucking was. So now with Biden in office, there is a new acting FCC chairperson, and her name is Jessica Rosenworcel. Sounds like a terrific woman, but a really, really rough last name. If I can be perfectly honest, I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Jessica. If you see this, I apologize. But, I love you, because she is actually a staunch supporter of bringing back net neutrality, and she was actually one of the dissenting votes when net neutrality was repealed, meaning she voted against repealing net neutrality when that all happened, and she was very vocal about how this was actually a terrible thing, and she declared the path to the vote as a corrupt process, and claiming it put the FCC on the wrong side of history, the wrong side of the law, and the wrong side of the American public. She then continued on to say, so let's persist, let's fight, let's not stop here or now. It's too important. The future depends on it. And I could not agree more. Any logical person knows that what they're doing is nothing more than a cash grab. They are taking something and trying to get more money for it, even though it's not costing them any more money to provide it to us. They are doing nothing in terms of providing us with better service. They're just trying to charge us because, well, they can, basically, because that's basically what Comcast do, because they are some evil sons of bitches. And Jessica Rosenworcel, again, terrible name, great person, is now the acting FCC chairman, and or chairwoman, I should say, and it seems like she could possibly keep that seat. And even if she didn't keep the seat, there would still be very likely a Democrat appointed to that position, which would probably be on the side of neutrality, as that's typically how Democrats lean on this topic. So having her in that spot and her being such a supporter of net neutrality, it seems very likely that we could see, at least get the ball rolling with bringing net neutrality back. And I don't know if she can get it done in the next 5 or 6 months, but at least we can, get it started. And hopefully at some point in the future, net neutrality will return under the Biden administration. That would be the best case scenario. And if we can get this done before Comcast decides to bring in the data caps, then all for the better, as that would then protect us indefinitely as long as net neutrality exists, which it has no reason not to. Net neutrality is a good thing for people. Anyone that doesn't say that it is a cuck. You are a capitalist cucklord. But with Comcast out of the way, let's talk about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is going to be coming out on May the 14th. So we only got a couple of months to go until we get the Mass Effect trilogy re-released on the next-gen consoles with nice graphics upgrades, some UI tweaks and stuff like that, which is really what I'm most excited about. I've actually never played the original Mass Effect. I played 2 and 3 several times. Absolutely love those games, apart from the ending of Mass Effect 3. But I didn't come into playing Mass Effect games until the second one, and I've tried playing the first one, but honestly, the user interface and like the aiming reticle and stuff like that, the navigation in the game, really, really just put me off, and I just couldn't stand it, even though I was really curious and I wanted to play throughout the story and all that stuff. Even though I already know like a lot of I know the things that basically happen in the story. I love the games for their cutscenes and all of that stuff like that, and the interactions with people and making your decisions matter and all of that stuff. So I definitely want to play through at least the original Mass Effect again, and then possibly through 2 and 3 with all of my decisions going on from the first one, even though at the end of Mass Effect 3 we know it's really not going to matter anyway. But yeah, this seems like a pretty good package they're going to be coming out with. As I said, there's going to be graphics upgrades and UI adjustments as well, and hopefully, fingers crossed, for the first game, that means some changes to the things that kind of bothered me the most about it, mostly the aiming reticle, and it was awful in that game. It was like just a huge circle. It was really, really hard to kind of hit anything, and I've heard them mention that there are going to be some things done with these games to make them a little bit more modern in terms of UI and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to those, as well as new textures, graphical enhancements, stuff like that is pretty good. So in light of that, we've now got the system requirements for the game, again, launching May the 14th for all 3 of them. I believe it's going to be $60, and then you get all 3 out. I don't know if it's $60 for sure. I could be wrong about that, but Here we go with the minimum system requirements. They're saying it requires a 64-bit processor and 64-bit Windows 10, although I don't understand why, as it's DirectX 11, or maybe they said it requires it, but anyway, you should probably be on Windows 10 at this point anyway. For the processor, the minimum is an i5-3570 or an AMD FX 8350. Man, that's bringing back some memories. And speaking of memory, 8 gigabytes of system RAM. God, that made me chuckle myself. For graphics, they say for the GPU, for NVIDIA, a GTX 760 or an AMD Radeon 7970 or R9 280X. Any GPU with 2 gigabytes or more of VRAM DirectX 11 is what the API will be. And then for storage, they're saying 120 gigabytes, which makes sense as this is going to be 3 full-fledged games. For the recommended requirements, which is probably more like the system most of us are going to be running, for probably 1080p 60 FPS, they're probably targeting with this. So if you're going to be running at 1440 or 4K, I would expect you to maybe a little bit beefier of a system than what they're suggesting here. But again, Windows 10 64-bit, an i7 7700 or a Ryzen 7 3700X, along with 16 gigabytes of system memory, and NVIDIA GTX 1070 for the graphics card, or RTX 200. What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a typo from the press release or from DSOG themselves, the website I'm sourcing this from, but don't know what an RTX 200 is. Also, they say a Radeon Vega 56 or any GPU with 4 gigabytes of video memory or higher. Again, DX11, 120 gigabytes of available storage. So pretty modest system specifications. Based on that, I'm expecting my RTX 3080 to be able to run these games very well, even with the graphical enhancements, and at 4K. That's at least what I'm expecting. Let's see if EA and BioWare can deliver on that. I don't know who's handling this, if BioWare is actually handling the upgrade or not, or if they brought in another team, which is possible. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that game, and also looking forward to not paying data caps or overcharges for data caps, which I definitely would likely be doing, or at least have to upgrade to an unlimited plan, which is preposterous. So that's all I've got for you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Leave me your thoughts, opinions, comments down below, as I love reading through those as always. I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.